Good morning. Welcome to Karma's a Stitch. I'm Tonya. I have recorded this little installment of a mini series where I'm kind of just touching on one WIP per installment. And today's installment, I believe, is scheduled, it's going up on Thanksgiving. So if you're in the United States, happy Thanksgiving. I hope you are surrounded by as many or as few, whatever it is that brings you joy. If it's the people or the environment or the animals or whatever it is, I hope that you are surrounded by things that you are just thankful to have in your life. This episode, I have an FO. I have a finished object. It is one that I've talked about on here. It was installment number 10. So you guys just watched me talk about it. And it's the Eyelet Burst by Stephen West. And there was, I was working on color 3 and then a color fade into color 4. And then I was on Zoom with a group and I was talking about my colors, and someone had said that they remembered Denise with Dear Designs talking about how she had 320 grams in her shawl. So I had incorporated 3 full skeins, and as I looked at it and I showed it to these folks that I was chatting with, and we talked about my 4th color, it was kind of unanimous not to put the 4th color in. The 4th color just, it wasn't in the same color family, so I bound off after I finished the skein. I say finished, here is what I had left of my skein 3. This is all the leftover yarn I have for my Eyelet Burst. It has not been blocked, however, there are no ends. So there we go. I'm super happy with it. I think it turned out great. I think you can see it really well. There are no ends, but it does still need to be blocked. So if you look at this, I'll drape this over here, kind of like a bib. But if you look at these 3 colors, this here was the 4th color. Can you see that? And it was pretty unanimous that this 4th color just wasn't in the same family. It didn't need to be in this shawl. So I decided not to add the 4th color. So my Eyelet Burst is complete. I have it updated on my Ravelry. So this is all done and it needs to be blocked. Now that particular shawl, sorry, the squeaky chair, the cinder. That particular shawl, the yarn that I used for the 3rd color was Teal Torch yarns, and I should have rinsed it. So before I block this, I will be rinsing it to see if I can, and I'll just be rinsing the end bit to get some of this dye out, because it was changing the colors of my hands. It was pretty significant. Like even just where my hand was holding the needle, the knitting needle runs along my palm when I'm holding it when I'm knitting. And Cinder just stole Lily's bone. Lily dropped it off the bed and Cinder very casually took it. 1 second. Leave it. Good girl. Here's a toy for you, sweets. Good girl. So it was something that I should have rinsed first and I didn't. And so I'm gonna have to soak it and rinse it pretty good, just the end bit, to make sure that I get as much out as possible. But yeah, when I'm holding my knitting needles, I guess I can just take them out. I'm pretty sure I showed you guys this, but when I'm knitting, I'm holding it like this. And so when I opened my hand, I had a blue line here and a blue line on the back of my fingers, just from holding it. And that's where it was it was something I need to rinse, and I will do that before I block it and rinse the entire thing. I'll just have that dark color going in. But yeah, that's all finished, and I'm excited that I'm getting some WIPs wrapped up. So yes, I used my Likey driftwood on that, and it's finished. So the WIP I'll be talking about today is I've done this project in the past. It was the very first MCAL I ever did. It was the Slipstravaganza. And there was a woman in my local knitting group that she was a little intimidated by Stephen West and his patterns and the looks of them, but she hears everybody talk about how much fun they were. And I really do enjoy his patterns, and I enjoy working his patterns, and I always learn something new when I'm working his patterns. So she's heard a lot of people say that and talk about it, but she was a little intimidated to try one on her own. So I agreed to do one alongside her. So we are knitting this at her pace, and she's going, and when she's completing a portion, it's not even a full section. When she completes a portion, I catch up to her. So I'm not knitting ahead of her. And we looked at all of his patterns. We looked at projects that were on Ravelry, so other people's color choices. And she found a color palette that she liked. I wanted to find a color palette that I thought my mom would like. And I got material that my mom can wear, because my mom can't wear wool. So I am keeping this in a project bag. Be kind or be quiet. I'm sure that my kids have heard that more than once. And it is the Slipstravaganza. If you are not familiar with that pattern, I have a picture of it here. So I have done this pattern before, and I loved it. It was so fun. And every bit of it was enjoyable. And as soon as I got done with a section of it, I was ready to move on to the next one before it even gets boring. So this is my progress so far. One thing I'm doing differently is each one of these is considered a honeycomb, okay? So I've got we've got 3 rows of honeycombs done. But what I've done different with this one is I've decided to alternate garter and stockinette stitch. So if you look close, I've got stockinette stitch and garter stitch, and I'm going to alternate it because I have, I think, 9 more sections. But the material that I'm using, and this is done on a US 4, yep. The material that I'm using is, I don't want to say squishy. I don't know how to describe this material. It almost feels like it's got lotion on it, like it's just, but it doesn't. It's a dry, anyway. I don't know how to describe what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to stop talking before I embarrass myself. But the material that I'm using is it's by Haiku, and I think that's how you pronounce it. It's called Kabasi. And here's what the label looks like. And it's cotton, bamboo, and silk. It's 55% cotton, 16% bamboo, 21% elastic nylon, 8% silk. And these are 50-gram skeins, and there's 220 yards per skein. And for the Slipstravaganza, you need 4 colors. So the colors that I'm working with for this particular Slipstravaganza, this pink is called Bubblegum. And then I've got white. I think this one's Gunmetal Gray. Yep, Gunmetal Gray. It's just a different texture, and I've really enjoyed working with it. It's soft. I don't know how to describe what I'm feeling. It's almost like if you were to hold wool that has lanolin in it still. I mean, that's what it feels like, but there's nothing on my hand afterwards. And then this here is called Raffi, and it is my main color. So this color will be held throughout the entire Slipstravaganza shawl. So Mom, if you're watching this, I really hope you enjoy these colors because this is what you'll be getting as soon as this lovely lady and I have it finished. So it's been a lot of fun doing this with her because it's one of those things where with this community, we learn so much and we get to spend time together, and just the sense of community, learning from one another, sharing each other's information and knowledge and skill base. And I'm learning things from her and she's learning things from me, and we get to chat, and it's just been a great example for me as to what this community is all about for me. So today being Thanksgiving, I said I hope you're all surrounded by people that bring you joy or things that bring you joy. I just want you all to know that you guys bring me so much joy. I have developed such wonderful friendships all around the globe from just these amazingly talented people that I so appreciate. And I'm so grateful to be a part of their lives and have them be a part of my life. And just, it's been truly a blessing, and I am incredibly thankful for all of you. So thank you so much, and we will see you guys on the next installment. Bye.